Hello, hello, welcome. Happy Wednesday. How is everyone? I know we just did the spotlighted event yesterday, but now we get to play with the everyday adventures. So we'll come up with some ideas to inspire each other as we play to create with this set. If you don't have it yet and you're still thinking, do I want to add it to my collection or anything like that, feel free to ask any questions as we go along. And if you do have it, then hopefully you walk away with an idea or two that you can quickly create when you have a chance. So it's super fun. I really enjoyed creating with these all-in-one scrapbooking kits. Awesome. Linda says, just got to Novi. Oh, she's at the Mega Meet. That's a fun expo. It really is fun. I hope you enjoy it. Crazy. It is that weekend, isn't it? Mother's Day is like right around the corner, guys. Oh, it's so hard sometimes when you think about like how fast the days and the weeks go, but life is got to enjoy the most of it while you can, right? And also remember it, which is why scrapbooking is so great, to kind of take a moment to have that R&R and to also reflect. So, all right, so I'm just gonna jump right into it. So this is the everyday adventures. I'm going to play with this for a moment. We're going to just pull out the pieces from this set and we'll see, kind of just get familiar with it at first. It does come with these 8 different pieces. So you have a lightning bulb, you have a variety of sizes, of shapes, and elements that are great for many different occasions that you may be creating some scrapbooking pages with. And it does come with a pair of borders. So this is an all-in-one set so that you can simplify it if you need to, or are, want something just to kind of pull out, take with you and create with. I know for me, when I was creating with this set, guys, and I was creating before we released it last week, is that it's only been a week since we released this new set. I was creating these pages, and from a goal perspective, I thought, you know what, let me just grab Everyday Adventures and see what I can create with it. I grabbed some pictures, some paper and this set, and I went into my living room. And, naturally we think we want to think outside of the box all the time, but there's just something so relaxing and rewarding to just kind of zero in on a set or two. And in this case, really the potential of doing it, which is this one set, is awesome. All right. So that's what we're going to do here for a moment. We're going to just come and create with this set. And I can just tell you that creating with the templates, I was always like, oh, this has really simplified scrapping for myself. It really has transformed my scrapping experience. I hope that you guys feel the same way. But this all-in-one kit, it was just a whole new level of ease, the ease that I felt, and yet the results were still very satisfying as well. So I was really happy with that result. All right, so naturally, just like anytime you're creating, it's always nice to kind of take the elements, get a little familiar with them, but ultimately just play. Okay, you're just going to play with them, build different designs, and you can almost think of it as a way of, bringing that childlike demeanor out. And there is no wrong, there is no right. You don't have to compare. You just need to kind of see visually what you're attracted to. Now, as far as sizes of these elements, now it's always great to have a variety of sizes because one, layering. So the ability to layer is easier when you are taking variations of sizes of design elements. Even if it's similar in like these two, you could say are like these gears, right? See how cute instantly you get this nice kind of cohesive aesthetic vibe with these two. And all I did was literally place them together. You could do them offset, you can do them center. I mean, really, or you can even just keep the aestheticness kind of flowing across your page. And all of these elements have a very playful vibe about them, which is kind of where the set got its name, Everyday Adventures. And that should also help lead you to maybe what memories you could scrapbook with this set. I know we talked about this a little bit at the release party, but everyday adventures, I mean, playing outside, four-wheeling, anything like that, adventurous as far as outdoors or just exploring. And honestly, for me, I want to do a travel page with this. So it's something that's a little bit more movement and playful in that. And you don't have to use all the pieces. You know, you may say, okay, I'm happy with just kind of building this page as it is. And then of course, I would throw in this frame that I kind of created here, places to incorporate my pictures that really accentuates those things. Let me pull, oh, they're right here. I'm like, I thought I pulled out photos. So that's really the general framework that you can follow, which will result in a more consistent finished pages. And so you're kind of looking for that start to finish, so that as you continue to do that, you'll stretch your inspiration, your ideas, and different things like that. If there's more space, like maybe even up here, you think, okay, this is a great opportunity to maybe add in one of those other elements and add that. And maybe you want to do some journaling, and I move this over here and I say, okay, I'm going to do journaling. I want to kind of cluster that together, kind of make a grouping. And then over here, you can do another little grouping. I always like to offset my groupings on my page. I really love the tag for that kind of foundational element that it provides to the design. It kind of helps ground some of more of the movement on a page. And so naturally, I always kind of place those. For me, the tag is great for tucking. So tucking into a border, I mean, there was a lot of fun ways you can do it. You could tuck it into a photo. You could do it this way. You can do it horizontal. You could do it vertical. I think on this page, I extended it. So I did one on this one and then kind of extended it as like a place for a elongated mat to mat my pictures. And then again, little groupings of different things here and there. Actually, this arrow, I didn't really hyper focus on that in the release, but I know a few different samples, whether that was from team members or creative partners. There's a lot of variations of just this lovely little arrow, how you can alter it in various different ways. And in this case, I wanted to alter it. So I just took the top part of the arrow and then traced that to this point, and then aligned the bottom half of it with my trace guidelines that I already traced, and then added the little tail on the arrow to it so that I could fill in the spacing here, because you can see that it didn't quite fit in that design itself. But for the most part, it's really easy to build some pages, and you could do something like that. And wherever, like, so for example, if I get to this point and I start to trace out my papers and cut them out, right? This is where that kind of second phase comes in as far as designing. I'll usually add in other, like if I trace one here, I might be like, well, you know what, maybe I'll add in another star after I get that star cut out, and then I'll test it out and kind of add it over there. And you guys see that often in the live like crops that we do. But that's usually where I'll do final little touches and just kind of move things around. But for the most part, with this one kit, you can get that nice visual thing. Now you see it, right? Like now you see your layout, and you can confidently go forward and cut your pages or cut into your paper and be confident about the design for your memories, that it's going to do it justice, and that you're going to have that creative expression of those memories and what they mean to you. And more importantly, I mean, I know we talk about memories a lot, but it's really about like those individuals that are in those pictures with you, right? And it's about whether that's even with yourself, reflecting and connecting with those in the pictures, where you were, connecting on it with those again, and also connecting with you, maybe as you learned and grew in different experiences in life, and really connecting with that on that level. And I think that's really something that maybe subconsciously we're getting, but we don't talk enough about consciously, that happens also in the sense of going from start to finish in this scrapbooking process, which is why I love scrapbooking so much, because it gives you that creative outlet, but then inside of it, you have this extra value and extra importance to it because you're throwing in your pictures into the mix of what you're creating. And I mean, don't get me wrong, and craft projects, all of those DIY components, they love them. They're so good for us, for our own health, hope, and happiness. But when you add that picture component, it takes it to a whole new level. All right, so that is kind of everyday adventures. Let me go ahead and just see if you guys have any questions. Joannie, hello. Hello from India. Oh, you just got off the lawnmower in time. Well, good job. Next, come and do my house. Oh, mowing lawn is not fun. Some people enjoy it, but I don't know. I guess I can't really talk. I don't do it much here. I have done it. It's not that fun for me, but I'm glad you're joining us. I'm so excited that you caught us live. So really lots of fun ways that you can create with this, guys. I mean, this is the one set, and you could do, it's really those standard formulas that you can kind of stick into as you, the comfort level, of course, you can try different variations. And when I say standard designs, you start with the borders, because the borders help going to kind of guide you through maybe where the elements of accessorizing, and when I say accessorize, like these elements that of course you can use over and over again, you can take advantage of the visualization that designer templates provide for you, which through that is going to inspire you. And it also lets you and guides you through maybe where to position your pictures a little differently than maybe you typically do, or something like that. So going back to the borders positioning, this is kind of why I recommend starting with the borders and picking one. You know what? Maybe you do a lot of top bottoms occasionally, and you want to kind of challenge yourself to do outside edges and see if that works with the pictures that you're scrapbooking. And they really go hand in hand. Sometimes you'll say, oh, that's not going to work. You could do a left side and a bottom on this. You could flip these. That's always fun too, is where naturally you think the straight edge here goes against a straight edge of a paper, but you could flip those. And this of course applies to any of our border sets as far as kind of standard design options that you can kind of work through as you're allowing yourself to play to create, to go from start to finish on your next scrapbooking page. So lots of fun ways that you can do that. I mean, we can even stick them both going upwards. You can do a crossed. Again, I always like to point this out. If you're doing a cross, you can find the matching angle side and align it that way so that it has a nice clean across movement going there. But it can also be movement this way. It could be, I guess at that point I would flip it again. You could do midsection. So let's say we did midsection here. Let's go with that. Then you're just going to see, like, honestly, there's no rhyme or wrong. Like, oh, do I want the tag to go upwards? Maybe that works for what you're doing. If it's not quite hitting the point, you'll know, that doesn't work. Well, instead of like, kind of focusing on, just move it, just see what else you can come up with. I actually think that's kind of fun. How I always love doing that, where you'll see a layer kind of extend beyond another layer. I think it adds a lot of contrast to a page where you start seeing layers interlock with each other. So for me, that's always fun. I can always imagine that being kind of a nice contrast in the layers. And of course, it translates into what patterns and papers you cut these designs out of. But that could be really cute, I think. Super fun. And so this is exactly the method and the process that I would just walk through personally. And again, it's really nice to kind of play with the one set and just, all right, let me move it around, see if there's a space for it. And you just start with one element at a time. And then before you know it, you're adding more into the mix. And then it becomes kind of like a little dance, I guess you could say, with the templates until you end up on that final design that you're good with and happy with. But ultimately, because there is endless design options, even when I'm like playing around with just this one kit, then you really just need to pick one and go with it. Ultimately, that's the biggest advice I could give you guys. And I always like to share that because it's almost like we have to be reminded, and I have to be reminded, in a sense, to be like, okay, all right, you were played for like 10 minutes. Now pick one so we can move forward. And so it's usually what I do is I kind of give myself permission, but also sometimes if I'm feeling like I need a little bit of a kick to get going, little kick in the rear end. It's honestly how it is sometimes, to kind of get myself in the groove so that I can actually start enjoying what I know that I'll enjoy, but you sometimes need to be kicked back into motion. I will set a timer and I'll tell myself, all right, I'm going to use this set and this set, and I'm going to set the timer for 10 or 15 minutes and just see what I can create with that set. Okay. Now, if you would like, I pulled out my daughter's phone because I'm using both of my devices. So let me get this. We do have that digital idea book that goes along with this set. Okay, so here, let me actually, go back down to the view because that would be good to see. I'll bring it up. And this is just a good reference point too, to kind of, again, get you started, get you in the movement. The designer templates are created with that in mind to kind of get you started. And they're really created to help you go from start to finish, the whole way through, from design to tracing and cutting, adding your pictures, all the way through to that finished result, and to help you do it more consistently and more meaningfully as well. But I'll be honest, I pull out sketches sometimes. It just depends. I get it. We all go through those ups and downs. And so there's awesome sketches in here. And this sketchbook, we do have online. And if you haven't had a chance to purchase it, but you think, okay, you know what? I need to have a little bit more inspiration in my fingertips, then the sketchbook is a great way to go. I was just looking at this sketch. Let's see. Oh yeah. So like that one would be so easy right there. I know you guys can't really see it. I'm just going to do a quick redesign and see. So this one, it looks like the tag is upwards on this. The border is an across design. So our design is going to stay with an across pattern, meaning across the 2-page spread. And then it looks like it has a photo here. And it looks like I had a 4x6, but say I wanted to add more photos. Maybe I swap out the 4x6 for 2 3x4s in that space. And then over here, I can add, again, well, you can add as many as you'd like. But say you had a picture that you didn't want to crop down. So let's throw another 4x6 in there. Let's tuck our gear behind there. Let's add a little bit of layering for dimension and contrast, and especially with the set, you get the variation of sizes so that it's easy to accomplish quickly and easily. And then we can add a little arrow, maybe to some journaling, I think is what it recommends there. So you could do a little journaling block there. And what I also love about this piece, and anytime you see these stencil lines, I always like to give this reminder that you can use the shape in and of itself. Like for example, maybe I just wanted the shape to add a pop of color and then add, I probably want to add a gear, but I would probably add like 2 stars or something on that just for decorative reasons. And just to add a little aestheticness to the design. My phone locked. There we go. So that could be really fun to do as well. I also love to pull this little tag out. I'm trying to think what layout I did that on. Let me look really quickly. There's this other layout I personally created with this set. It wasn't on that one. Huh. I guess I didn't pull that layout out. I didn't get that other one. Dang it. It was the Harry Potter one that I did. I just used the little bit of tag. So lots of little, so the tag is a little design. you could just doodle, use these guidelines on the journal template itself. If you wanted just to doodle those straight on the background paper, depending on what color background sheet you're designing on top of, or you can use the whole shape as you see it, or the shape below. So I always like to point that out because there's so many options in just that one template. And so that's kind of a design there. Super fun. Oh, let me see. Oh, no, that's not it. But thanks for pulling that up, Sonia. I don't see it on there either. Trying to think what page. Either way, super fun to use. Super, super fun. Okay, so that's the everyday adventures. And then I think instinctively, I thought I wanted to I was going to share this with you guys because, you know, we recommend the perfect pair. If you wanted to kind of expand beyond this one, I would say for me, my first instinct, if I was going to pair this everyday adventures with something else from my collection to kind of elevate or enhance my design potentials, I would reach for widgets, which I know we talked a little bit about the perfect pair. Widgets would be a great addition into this set, or gadgets. And I love the thought of using gadgets. I haven't quite played with it, but I figured we'll take a moment to kind of throw in gadgets here. Gadgets is these larger pieces, and sometimes to really help ground your design, it's nice to pull on the more foundational accessories. And when I say that, that's like lacy trims, rings, triangles. They kind of bring in with the design and the size of the design, a place to kind of build on top of, but build on top of meaning like have this foundation that you build on top of, but also give your design like an extra substance to it. So let me throw this in this design really fast and see. I haven't played with it, but I've been itching to do it because every time I pull out everyday adventures, I think, ooh, I wonder how this will play with gadgets and just enhance that. Like you could see how many cute designs we created with just that one set. But I was just looking, thinking, okay, that's cute. That's kind of fun. Oh, this is so fun. Okay. Probably do something like that. So see a little bit of grouping there, kind of gives you a starting point, and then you can kind of build from your design from there. Let's see. I don't know if I would do two foundational elements, meaning ones that are larger right next to each other. You could do something like that, I guess. Again, because you're going to have that contrast in the patterns of papers and really pull on that, the power of those patterns to embellish and decorate your page. And so you could do a quick one pager or something like that. But I would probably spread those movements out. Yeah, this large gear. I think that's why I thought of it as kind of a good pairing set. I love doing this with anything that I see rings. It's always kind of my first go-to is kind of intertwining those into the mix. And then of course, when I cut out, if I cut out this inside, I just snip in, and where I snipped in, I would tuck under the border right here. That's how I would approach that, to make the cutting easy, but also to make it, when you go to adhere these layers down, really easy as well. Trying to think. I mean, that is like full on gear mode. That is, let's kick it into gear there, you know? Let me see. Anyways, so many options, so many options. So definitely don't overthink it. Just allow yourself to play to create and see what you can come up with. If you, I mean, just in the sketches in that sketchbook, you're going to see so many variations. And of course, in the community as well. I've loved seeing those of you that have already got your hands on this set, creating with it. And I love being inspired by seeing what you guys create with it. But there's just so many options. But if you are looking for a way to kind of, you know, spice it up, or you can adjust it or elevate it, I don't know, try gadgets. It's my first time pulling out and playing with that, but it definitely is something that I personally instinctively would reach for, is I would try to pair it with gadgets. So maybe I'll finish this page up and post it in the community. But for the most part, that is a good look at everyday adventures. And on top of that, I will say, I mentioned the sketchbook, but right here in the back, you also have 3 sketches to get you started. And that's really the key. Get started. I mean, you just pulled out this set, you want to create with that. And so narrow in on that, focus on this set of using the set. Try creating just with the one set, see what you can create with. And then the next time say, okay, well, now I'm going to pull some more stuff from my collection. I think you're going to be really surprised how that simplicity sparks the inspiration, and then that inspiration sparks to energy, and then that energy sparks and flows over to every aspect of your life, that you can take that energy, that you allow yourself that free time, you time, I guess, and then into other aspects. Of course, I hope you enjoy it. I enjoy it. It does bring me a lot of joy. I hope it brings you a lot of joy, but ultimately, as you play to create, help you go from start to finish as well. And this new set is super fun to help you do that even more easier. So, all right. Well, I don't see any questions. Thanks so guys so much for hanging out with me. If you guys have any questions, of course, like always, feel free to tag us in the community. But of course, until next time, we'll see you in the community, and keep playing to create, guys. All right. We'll chat soon. Bye now.